Well, there's no obvious answers to the question that is being asked across the world. Will we have a ceasefire in the ongoing war anytime soon? And that applies to the markets and central banks as well. In the eyes of investors, rate hikes are coming. It's worth taking stock as the Iran war gets into, it is well into its sixth week. Now, to the extent that there is there is good news that the level of the price shock isn't as bad as it was at the same point in the Ukraine conflict, but oil prices are still below the 2022 peak of $123 per barrel. But that is about $140 in today's money, adjusted for inflation. And helpfully for Europe, gas prices remain much lower. But Europe's relationship with natural gas has changed a lot in these 4 years. The bad news is that things look much worse in percentage terms, and that is what matters more for inflation and the chance of rate hikes. The other bad news is that there are little signs of shipping recovering through the Strait of Hormuz. And Iran has made it clear that this strait will never go back to the way it was before the war started. Now, as per IMF data, 50 to 60 tankers were typically transiting those waters daily in late February. This is shortly before the war started. But now you can count them on one hand. Economists have said all along that economic impact of this crisis depends not just on how high energy prices rise, but how long they stay elevated. Just last week, it saw the first stories of widespread flight cancellations across Asia, and this is the story that will likely hit Europe over the coming week or two, with increasingly unpredictable and potentially far-reaching economic effects. Well, the starting point for the resumption of flows through the strait is the question of a ceasefire. Betting markets think that there's only a 27% chance that happens by the end of April. And that comes after another week of mixed messages from the US administration. Investors are weighing whether the White House will deploy ground troops now stationed in the region. Even if we do get some easing of hostilities, does that guarantee the reopening of the Hormuz Strait, and specifically to what degree? Is that scenario even enough to take oil prices sustainably back below $100 per barrel? And would that be enough to curtail the economic impact of the crisis and restore confidence in risk assets? Well, as of now, there are no clear answers.